Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartell in with another edition of Player Profile. This time we go to the Archbishop Hoban Knights volleyball team with Skylar Schmidt, and actually coming off of the Knights' 21st victory of the season just a couple hours ago. Skylar, how are you feeling right now? Probably on top of the world.
Yes, I'm feeling really good. Today was a good day, that's for sure.
Let's talk about this regular season and just start right there. I mean, 21 consecutive victories, you guys. Perfect regular season. Playoffs now starting, but let's just reflect for a second now on the regular season ending just hours ago. What has this season been like playing from beginning to now, having all these wins under your belt, going into the playoffs? Just talk about the experience as a whole.
The experience it has been a really great experience overall. It's just like coming in last year, losing five seniors. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know who's going to pick to play what positions. But once we saw what his coach's decisions were going to be, we could tell that this was going to be a really great season for us.
What was the confidence like going after each and every win that you guys accumulated over the season? Did you feel in yourself the confidence rising, and do you feel like it also happened with the team?
Yes, especially like after our first win, our first try match, like you could just see what a team that we were going to be and how that confidence is boosted each practice, each game after every win. Especially for me personally, I have a struggle with that, but it really helped me to see like what we can accomplish as a team and what I can accomplish through this team.
Obviously, you can't point it to just one thing, and I mean, you're not going to give away all the secrets. But what sets you guys apart from the competition, and what gives you guys that edge in your mind that's enabled you to win against such tough competition throughout the course of the season?
I think it's really just our drive to win. Definitely like our offense is very strong, our setters and our defense, but that drive, you can't really do anything if you don't want to win. Like we practice every single day. We say we don't practice for the players, we don't practice for the other team, we don't practice for the stands. We just focus on winning and we focus on that drive to win. We don't want to get in our head, but we also want to have fun.
Do you kind of try to use those motivators of only having one senior on that team to kind of pump you up before matches? Do you kind of try to get it in your head that maybe others are counting you out because of your guys' age as a team?
Yes, especially because there is only one senior, but we don't really focus on what how other people view us. We just want to think, how can we make Hoban volleyball stand out as a whole? And especially, we always go into the game trying to play for Soph since she's the only senior and just giving her that amazing season that she always has dreamed of.
You're having a solid season yourself, over 100 kills this season too. I think you're number 3 on the team overall, and it's a team of talent from top down. Just talk about being able to have that kind of production and what it means to you to be such a big productive force on this really talented team.
It has definitely opened my eyes for sure, like, being last year, being on varsity, but not really playing, and just coming in, not knowing what he was gonna do with me, if he was gonna keep me or not, and just seeing the potential that I have had this season overall. Sometimes I might not be on my game, but I still know how to put the ball away, and I can still help our team lead to these 21 victories.
When I'm talking with Coach Maloof too, he seems like a fantastic guy too. He always says he doesn't want to be on camera, but he always is so good when he is on camera. What is Coach Maloof like in practice too? Take us like into that locker room a little bit. Talk about his coaching style and what makes him so special and unique.
So he has a very different coaching style than what most people expect, but it's a very good coaching style, as you can tell. Like, we're winning and we're playing as a team, and he tries to have fun, but he also keeps that high standard for us because he doesn't want to play tentative and he doesn't want us to go into each game thinking that we're so good that we're going to win. So like the practice plans, they're very strong. They're working on things that we need to work on. He always comes into each practice before our game, watching the other team's film, making sure he knows what's going on and putting that into our practice.
Excellent mind for the game. I definitely think so as well. Where did your volleyball journey begin though? I mean, we're talking about the current chapter. Let's go back to that first chapter. What's some of the earliest volleyball memories you have?
So my earliest volleyball memory, I was in third grade and I played CYO volleyball at St. Matthews. So it wasn't obviously a very strong volleyball team, but I just remember how much fun I had the first season, just seeing how much potential, like I was pretty good as a third grader. I mean, I was the first person to get my overhand serve down, which is a pretty big accomplishment. But just knowing how many memories I've gained and all the friends I've gained through this, it was just, I don't know what I would do without it. Like that CYO, that first year as a third grader playing volleyball, and then going into those JOs when I got a little bit older and like travel and just meeting new people has definitely helped me become the person I am.
Do you think that meeting new people is one of the reasons that kind of kept you in it? Because I mean, third grade I think is one of the youngest I've heard as a starting age for the sport too. So, what do you think it is that kind of kept you in it all those years up until now?
I think it's just really seeing, yeah, like meeting new people and seeing how good of a sport this is. Like girl sports don't really get as not acknowledged as much as they should. And when you can put yourself out there in that sport, it really like means a lot to me, especially, and just see how hard like my parents have worked and stuff. It made me want to keep going with the sport I love and not give up when things get tough.
Did you have any role models in the sport that you kind of looked up to and tried to maybe emulate, or maybe you took some pointers from them that kind of helped you along the way?
So none of my like family members really played volleyball, but I really just watching college volleyball and just seeing like Harper Murray on Nebraska. She is definitely one of my big role models because she is so good and she knows how to put the ball down. But I would say someone in my life is definitely my parents because you can just see they. My mom was a cheerleader, my dad was on the football team, and he was a really good baseball player. And just like even though they didn't play volleyball, just seeing how much they had in fun how much fun they had in their sports and just how much they worked hard to it. But yeah, definitely Harper Murray is my volleyball role model.
You talk about a sport of highs and lows, and that's exactly what volleyball will bring, and it'll do it set to set too in the same match even. When you look at this sport overall too, and from a third grade perspective all the way to now, what's some of the biggest things you learned about the sport that you can offer maybe those younger girls that are kind of thinking about if they want to stay in the sport or not?
I've learned to just have fun. Like it can be very stressful at times, the crowds and just knowing that if you make a mistake, you don't know how to fix it, but you will learn how to fix it and just rely on your coaches. Don't rely on your coaches, but like listen to them because they know how to help you and just have fun. This is a game that's supposed to be fun, not so stressful. Like I know some people like me especially, I sometimes don't have a lot of fun because I'm just so stressed out, but like when I have fun, we play so good as a team, we play good individually. You just got to have fun.
You mentioned your coaches too, and obviously, great coaches can help shape any really
Yeah.
good athlete's career too. And obviously, Coach Maloof, one of them. We talked about him. What are some other coaches in your life that you'd shout out now and say they helped you out along the way?
Well, my dad was actually one of my coaches, and he was since he was my dad, he was pretty extra hard on me, but that helped me be the person I am today. But my third grade volleyball coach, Mrs. Kirko, she was always there. She would always help, even though you're in third grade and it's not really that big of a deal. She still like helped me today. And when I saw her, I just told her thank you for getting me to the point because she her daughter plays at Talmadge, so I got to when we saw them I got to tell her, and it was such a good experience, that third grade volleyball team.
Shout out Mrs. Kirko too. And I mean, it's those young ages too when you can really build that investment in the sport is where you can really start finding yourself falling in love with the sport as well. Talk about this season, 21 regular season wins.
Yeah.
You got the postseason coming up on Wednesday. Little bit of a lull period, a few days in between now. What's it like for the team? What's it like for you knowing now the second half of the season starting and you guys are going in without a loss on the other side of that record?
Well, I think obviously our goal from the beginning we stepped on the court at the beginning of the season was winning that state championship, going for that state championship, and knowing that it could actually like happen is just such a huge goal in practice. That's what we always focus on. That's what coach always focuses on, that state championship. But we have to take it one step at a time. We can't think ahead. So we got to take it one game at a time. And even though maybe some of the teams we play aren't as strong as us, we still got to keep up our game because sometime in this tournament, we're going to be playing really tough teams.
Are you yourself and the team a believer of winning as a culture? And what I mean by that, when you see other athletic programs in Hoban finding success, getting to that state championship level, do you think it kind of helps you guys as a team elevate your level and try to raise the bar?
Yes, especially because girls volleyball hasn't won a state championship for a pretty long time, and just like seeing like how boys basketball won last year and football has been winning these past couple years they won, and just knowing that like how much what light you get on for being a state championship team. I mean, being 21-0 is pretty impressive, but winning a state championship would be even crazy.
You look at yourself, and I love that your mind for the game too. You always can look at the finer things, it seems like. What are some of the biggest things you feel like you improved on from last year to this year that gave you so much production on this very successful team?
Definitely mostly my mental aspect, like staying positive, staying high, helping my teammates, listening to my teammates when they're trying to help me, listening to my coaches. But on like the hitting aspect, definitely staying behind the ball, seeing the blocks, listening to Coach Maloof, who only wants the best for you. And he's going to try and help you, and just listening to what he has to say. Definitely just listening to my coaches and teammates has really helped me.
All right, so that's the volleyball half of Skylar Schmidt. Let's get to know Skylar Schmidt a little bit more as a person too. What's some of the favorite hobbies outside of the sport of volleyball that you like to take up? I'm sure not a ton of time with being a student and athlete, but what's some of the hobbies you like?
Um, I am a very big math person. I love math. It's my favorite subject. I also love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. We actually decorate for Christmas in October every single
Oh
year.
my goodness! So you go real early. You're like
Yes,
forget
I'm
Halloween, right?
ready. Yes. And then I love watching Grey's Anatomy. I really want to be a surgeon when I'm older. So working in the medical field is definitely a highlight. So I volunteered this summer at a hospital. So definitely that aspect is also fun. But like you said, I don't really have a ton of time to do stuff. But when I do, I love hanging out with my family.
You talk about a stressful environment, volunteering at a hospital too. I
Yeah.
mean, did that help you out with sports too? I feel like nothing can really get to you stress wise after working in a
Yes.
hospital.
Well, obviously, it was definitely stressful, but it was such a great experience, and it opened my eyes to see what I have that other people don't. The opportunities that I have had my past few years. It's just been it was a really great experience, and helping me, like you said, in the volleyball world too.
That's really awesome that you kind of have an idea already and not even a senior yet. You have an idea of
Yeah.
what you want to do in your future. Do you kind of have an idea of college wise where you want to go or where that's going to push you?
So my dream is to go to the University of Notre Dame.
Okay.
It's gonna be quite difficult, but I definitely have the intelligence for it, and I'm an athlete too, which helps. I don't know if I would play in college, but like just having like different horizons that they can look at, like the other activities that I'm in, like I'm in a couple different clubs, and then volleyball, and then also my smarts. It's just that is my dream school for sure.
I love your confidence with that. Where do you find all the time to be able to keep up this student part of the student athlete part?
Well, I always try and find time for my schoolwork because I wouldn't be able to play this sport if I didn't keep my grades up. Study halls, I always make sure to add time for study halls, make sure I put in a plan after practice. This is what I have to get done. Go to my teachers if I need help, and they're always there to help you. And just relying on the time you have for free time, I might want to spend it watching TV or doing something, but making sure I keep my grades up.
What's a good teacher at Hoban that's really helped you out during this whole process too? I know you mentioned math, but is it a math teacher that's one of your faves?
Yes, so my two favorite teachers are Mrs. Darling and Mrs. Besessi. I actually never had Mrs. Besessi, but I could always go to her for math questions. And Mrs. Darling, she was actually inducted in the Hoban Hall of Fame for athletics and volleyball team. She was on the volleyball team, so she's also helped me with volleyball. And Mrs. Heller, she is always there to help me. She's pretty smart, so she can help me a lot too.
Teachers, man, they don't get enough credit for all that they do for everyone coming up as athletes and as students going into the world, no doubt. You talk about big wins. You guys have had 21 of them too. What's the go-to meal or one of your favorite meals after a big win?
Well, probably one of my favorite meals after a big win. I love McDonald's. I
Okay.
Just the fries. I get
No
the
doubt.
McDonald's fries. They're so good, but my dad always has something ready for me when I get home, whether it's like little sandwiches or pasta or some type of charcuterie board or something that I can just snack on before I go get my shower, get my homework done. So,
Mickey D's fries. I mean, if there's
oh yeah,
one cheat one, that's gotta be the one
it's
for it.
so
No
good.
doubt, no doubt. Skylar, before we let you go, I got to give you that opportunity to put that spotlight on whoever you want now. Who's helped you out along the way? Who's been big influential factors in your life? Put the spotlight on them now.
I would say in the volleyball world, like on my team is definitely Amber, and because she's a fellow outside hitter and she just always gives me that positive energy before I go into the match. And my best friend, Ava Norton, she plays my back row. She knows when I get mad and she knows how to help me get out of it and she knows how to help me get out of my stressful times. But I would also like to shout out my parents who are always just there for me. They're always there to help me and they always know what's best for me. And definitely all my teachers too who have gotten me to this point. So yeah.
A lot of shout outs, and I absolutely love it as a couple teammates, parents, and of course, everyone at the Hoban's teaching staff and faculty. Well, Skylar, us here at YSN, we're rooting for your success, not only athletically, but also academically, as we hope to talk to you again real soon. This has been a first time edition of Player Profile with Archbishop Hoban Knights volleyball outside hitter, Skylar Schmidt.